Good afternoon, everyone. Today, ICTS is in conversation with Mr. Tushar Mistry, the Principal Architect of Tushar Mistry Design Studio. So, Tushar has created a niche when it comes to design and space planning. As Principal Architect of TMDS, Tushar is backed by 18 years of experience, having learned and worked with Architect Alhad Raje, whom he considers his mentor, and Architect Reza Kabul. Despite coming from a small town and facing the challenge of lack of communication skills and exposure, Tushar has proven his ability in the field of construction and design. For now, the principal architect of TMDS is contented with his work, speaking, and is looking forward to showcasing a body of work whose appreciation will be its real achievement. So, hi Tushar, how are you?
Hi, Dhanika.
How are you?
I'm good.
So let's start with the discussion. So describe how your daily routine looks like as an interior designer.
Daily routine is quite as simple as anybody else, any professional, because as if you're interior designer as a qualification or as a business or a profession, but after all, you're a human being. So it's a daily routine is same as everybody follows. You wake up, have breakfast. Yeah, but then the slight change in the other, because my routines don't start typically the way offices starts. There could be a site visit, that could be a client meeting, there could be studio. So it revolves around the schedules that we work on. So there is no typical routine. The morning routine and the night routine is set in between. It is all dynamic.
Hmm. Okay. So there's a lot of competition when it comes to your business. So how do you cut through this competition and what makes TMDC unique, TMDS unique?
So versatility in us make us different from others. We can cater to the simplest to the most complex projects that comes to us. Today in market, everybody has work. How we are distinctly different because our USP is the time-based job, and we give that kind of a finesse. We are. It's kind of our USP now that we finish projects on time, sometimes before time, and the deliveries, and we are very honest with our work. We don't try to like be hanky panky at workspace or try to cheat people. So discipline was one important aspect that we have, and that makes us very different from others. And being honest, there are repetitive clients, so probably it it gives a signal that we are doing good job and people want to repeat us work. So that's how we are different from others.
The things you mentioned are like the basic thing that everyone should have.
Yeah,
So
those are basic things. So you want to know the some special thing that makes us different is the USP of our time-based job that we finish work on time, and we try to give different designs every time when we are working on a project.
I meant it that like these are the basic things that everyone should have, and most of the people don't have. So
Oh,
having you like it makes you different and you. So
okay. Thanks.
so as you started TMDS almost a decade ago, so what did the challenges you faced while you began your development?
So challenges was when I started off, I just had one project in hand. There was no body of work of my own. So generating that confidence in people, just having like few projects as your own projects, convincing them, getting into self-discipline and starting off your own business. It's a very different aspect. When you're doing job somewhere, your criteria is to just work for that particular. Here you are carrying yourself as an entity. So generating the brand identity, and getting work from the market without any great body of work that you have of your own. reliance was on totally on the past that you have done. And I was like one of those lucky people who could come out of the shadow of the past, the big names that you have worked under them, and make your own name. So the first and very important aspect was to get the work without any body of work was the biggest challenge. And obviously the communication skills were the problem, resources were the problem. There was no support staff. I started off when I was all alone with one person. Now we are a team of many people. So the progression was not easy, but we sailed through. And again, the same honesty and discipline took us there.
The best and the basic things that everyone should have.
Yes.
So, so is there any interior design that you favor or dislike?
See, as I mentioned, I'm very versatile in my design. There is nothing good or bad. That is what I feel, even in the nature. It's all liking is all subjective. You are wearing something which is green, and I'm wearing something blue. That doesn't mean that blue is better than green or green is lower than blue. So it's all about perception, how you look at things. Yeah, in the start of my career, I started criticizing things. I started because that's the novice in you. That is not someone who is experienced or is mature as a designer and as a person. That you start criticizing, it could have been done this way, it could have been done that way. But when you have experience of so many years, you know that there are many factors that affect the whole bouquet that you are presenting to someone. So I try and pick and choose what is beautiful, what is admirable, and just try to pick up positive and some learning from even the saddest of the project that I don't like, even if it is mine or somebody else's. Somebody has taken effort, at least we should appreciate what is good into it. So that's how I look at it. So there's nothing bad or good, it's all subjective. I might not like neoclassical. I am a simple person who would want to have very silent, muted palette. But being a designer, you need to get into psychology of a person for whom you are designing. So you cannot be biased to one style. I'm yet to find my own style. What is my style? Right now, I'm happy being versatile in my work.
That's so cool. So, mm, if you talk about today, we see a lot of changes going on. Like the environment is so dynamic. So, how do you keep up with the industry changes?
Upgrading yourself is the only key. I mean, if you say from the simplest thing that we talk of, your phone gets upgrades every month almost. Also, the system needs a reboot. The system needs to be upgraded. The same way your mindset needs to be upgraded. You need to be vigilant. You need to travel. You need to see places. Again, you need to see somebody else's work as well, what people are doing around. You can't be in a cocoon and do the masterpiece out of it. Yes, you can create something, but that is a limitation that you bind yourself with. So it's better to always wander around, travel places. Traveling makes you and your mindset open. What things are changing, how things are changing. If I see something, why it is being the analysis of the whole aspect by your perspective. It could be wrong. Like if you see a moon from this side and moon from that side of universe, you would see it very different. Everything have its different perspective. The way you see the from where you see it also all important. So that is how the upgradation in your own system, in your mindset, and not stick to something which is already established. If the change was not the constant thing in this world, we would have all been very monotonous in life. So i
That would
I
have been
accept change.
boring.
Yeah, I accept change, and I accept what is better in that change and take it further and add it to my knowledge quotient so that you don't stay behind.
Of course. So, what is the most important factor for you when you are designing a room?
The most important factor is the design brief. What and for whom I'm designing. what is the age group, what is his psychology, his or her, whosoever is going to dwell in it. So it should reflect your personality, whether it is your personal space or it is a public space. If you're designing for a hotel, what is the essence of that particular brand that they live up to? If I'm designing a house for Dhanika, what kind of personality she is, what are her requirements. Aesthetics is something that anybody can achieve. There are no bad designers today. But what one should learn and one should understand, what I have learned from my life is the operations, the comfort, the functioning of the space is most important than aesthetics, because those are the basics. Again, I'm coming to the basics. That basics never change. The ergonomics never change. The comfort, if a design is beautiful but not comfortable, what's the point? I can make a brush of gold, but can you brush your teeth with that? No.
of course.
So the application is very important. That is what I see when I visualize a room, when I have to do something for someone. It's always about that person and that personality, height, weight, colors, what is the whole attitude of a person. All that depends. So there are many factors, not one, but especially the principal factor is the functionality of the room.
Uh, Moving on to the next question, that is, I have taken it from your previous answer only. So, do you consider aestheticism or functionality to be more important, and why? And did you ever have to compromise one for other?
So there are two factors. When I'm doing something which is for life, like we do a lot of show apartments, where sometimes we try to give aesthetics more importance because it is not going to be for the end user. Though we follow ergonomics, we follow basics, but for the show apartment, where it is show, means it is an aspirational, it is for someone not to use it, but to it should be visually very good. So that's where we give more importance to the aesthetics over function. But when it is a live apartment or a live space, when people are human being or even pets are going to use it, some life is going to use it.
Yeah.
So there, the functionality is always, and it should always overpower the aesthetics. We at times fight with our clients for functionality of it, because today Pinterest or many other Google search or saying they have a lot of ideas and good ideas to implicate, but not everything will suit. Like you cannot have a tiara on a bald face.
That, that's something
I would
one
like
should
to
work
put
for.
everything, whatever jewelry I have, I would like to just put on myself, but it will not look good. It's just that one thing, and that is why a designer is being appointed, that they put things into place. Yes, and
I
give it to
think
you.
the example you gave would have been a great incentive that people should look for functionality more.
Yeah.
So, moving on.
It's a failure of a design, according to me, if the end user is not happy in functioning it. Especially this happens as with kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
because it is the most function oriented thing in this whole interior design. So
Okay. So, moving on, let's have some tips from you on how can we decorate our room and house in the most admirable ways.
admiration is again what you like. I mean, if somebody is watching Big Boss, what Salman Khan says at the end: do whatever you want to do, man, but don't trouble your parents. So don't trouble your pocket, uh, and don't overdo it. I mean, list down the requirements that you actually need in your room. You need to give a design brief to yourself, that do you really need this, do you really need that. There should be a checklist. And cramping up the whole space and just crowding it with a lot of things, it doesn't really make sense. It should reflect you. So whenever somebody asks, even when we do projects for clients like residences or something, we always leave empty palettes for them to fill it up. Artwork. Artwork is something needs to be curated. It should have some story behind it. When you travel, you get some souvenirs. So when you keep that, there is a story behind it. There's an emotion behind it. One can just get into any retail shop and buy and keep stuff. That's okay. I mean, even when we put planters in the residences, we put small plants. The pots are bigger, but then that they need to water it. There's no nurture them. There's when it grows, it starts looking beautiful. That you have sense of achievement. So my tip is just list down things what you need. Actually, you need them, and then start feeding your room whenever you travel, whenever you go to the places, and know yourself what you like. What somebody is going to like is something that you we do it for show apartments. It should be you.
Oh,
Again, the someone will like it, someone will not like it. Just take those thoughts out of your mind because it's your space. It should reflect you. Somebody might not like it. That's okay. Doesn't matter.
yeah. So, and last but not the least, what is the best approach to design small spaces? Because right now, we don't have lavish mansions most of the time. We have small rooms.
So with the small rooms, always try to go vertical. Try to curate things which are not big in size. Do a lot of good furnishing. The palette should be very muted. Add colors into your accents where you can just change it. Like if you are bored of some cushion cover or you're bored of a rug, you can just change them and the whole interior is new. The fixed furniture or the paint on the wall should be very muted because it's a small house. Use a lot of mirrors, small big sizes. Don't play with shapes. Go linear, go more geometrical when it comes to small spaces. If the height of the room is smaller, then you can choose furniture which is not too high in their backs, like sofa with a low back, rectangular shapes, dining table which is rectangular and which can be folding. So your desk could be folding. So when you need this space to be open up, like use a lot of sliding folding partitions. So when you want space to have privacy, you have privacy. But when you're partying or something, you can make space really visually very big. So in a small space, or again, cluttering the space, leave corners open. This is what we Indians generally like to do is fill up the corners. Those are the most difficult spaces to clean when it comes to, and a clean house looks beautiful always. So reduce horizontal surfaces, make more vertical surfaces so that you don't start junking spaces. If you don't need dining table, you don't have habit of dining table, it is not used and made every day, don't buy it, don't keep it in your house. You can have something which is folding which comes out when you need it. Dining table concepts in small houses, instead you can have some study desk or something, or a chaise lounge or something on that side. If somebody can afford projector, then you should not have a TV wall. You should have a projector and put more seatings. Because major problem with the small houses that happens when you have a get together, the seating arrangement becomes a bit difficult. So a TV, imagine there are two walls that you get. One wall, out of the four walls, one is your window, one is your door side. There you'll have a shoe rack or something, and you're left with two walls. That also you are sacrificing one whole wall for just one TV and a TV unit. And there is no interaction when you sit together. Somebody is like this, somebody is like this. So it's better to have like a seating which is front in next to each other, and you have a roll down screen which comes down where you can see TV when you want it. It just goes back. Living rooms, even in the small residences, the TV concept in living room is dying day by day. In fact, the TV concept itself is dying because people are all on OTT platforms. They watch it on their phone, they watch it on their laptops, and so TV is a dead investment. Rather have more seatings.
Yeah, that's so innovative. Like right now, everyone should do that. So that was all
And
from my
projectors
side.
these days are quite affordable. When
Yeah.
projectors are quite affordable these days, and I've seen it that people in a small houses, it's mostly young couple who is staying. They don't watch TV. It's just for match or something that is. And so, what's the point of putting that one whole wall occupied?
Oh, so everyone should have an idea, a lot of ideas to innovate and design their rooms better. So, Tushar, that was all from my side. I had a lot of fun in this. So thank you for giving us your precious time. It was like a short and a very fun interview. So I enjoyed it, and a lot of people who watched this also enjoyed it. So anything you would like to say at the last?
Nothing. Just keep. The most important thing is when you finish your interiors of the house, just sit back and smile. That's what I want everyone to do because you have really done a good job.
Thank you, Tushar. Have a good day.
Okay. Thanks a lot. It was an interview. I mean, it was quite interactive. I learned a few things out when I was interacting with you of about myself, what I think. So thanks a lot.